Oh my God! Daddy Pig stuck into the dark woods. What's happening next? Once upon a time, there was a kind and loving father named Daddy Pig. He lived happily with his family in a cozy little house near the edge of a beautiful forest. Daddy Pig loved his family very much, and he always took care of them. One day, Daddy Pig decided to go on a special trip into the forest. He wanted to collect some wild berries for his family, ones that only grew deep in the woods. Daddy Pig knew the woods could be tricky to navigate, so he told his family, "I'll be back before dinner. Don't worry, and always remember to stay close to home." As he walked into the forest, the trees grew taller, and the sunlight dimmed. The woods were quiet except for the rustling leaves and chirping birds. Daddy Pig knew the forest well, but as he walked further, he noticed the path seemed different. The tall trees looked alike, and it became hard to tell which way he had come from. Daddy Pig didn't want to worry, so he thought, "I just need to find the big oak tree. That will lead me back home." He kept walking, but the forest seemed endless. Soon, it started to rain, and the ground became muddy and slippery. Daddy Pig slipped and fell, spilling his basket of berries. As he sat under a tree to rest, he realized he was lost. He looked up at the dark sky and whispered, "I just wanted to make my family happy." Meanwhile, back at home, Mummy Pig, Peppa, and George began to worry. "Daddy Pig should be home by now," Peppa said. Mummy Pig nodded and said, "Let's call for help." They asked their neighbor, Mr. Rabbit, who knew the woods well, to help search for Daddy Pig. With flashlights and warm blankets, they ventured into the woods calling, "Daddy Pig, where are you?" Their voices echoed through the trees. After searching for a long time, they finally found Daddy Pig sitting under the tree. He was cold, tired, and a little sad, but he smiled when he saw his family. "I'm sorry," Daddy Pig said. "I wanted to bring you something special, but I got lost." Mummy Pig wrapped him in a blanket and said, "We're just happy you're safe." They all walked back home together, holding hands and talking about how much they cared for each other. From that day on, Daddy Pig learned an important lesson. It's always better to go on adventures with someone else, especially in places like the forest where it's easy to get lost. And Peppa and George learned something too. They always made sure to tell someone where they were going, and to bring a map or a guide when exploring new places. The family snuggled up together that night, grateful to have each other. And though Daddy Pig didn't bring home the berries, he brought home something much more precious, a reminder to stay safe and stick together. The end. Moral of the story, always be prepared when exploring unfamiliar places. Tell someone where you're going, and remember, it's safer to go with a friend or family member.